So we're at my house here today, guys. I moved into this house in November. I sort of grew up in this area, about 10 minutes down the street in Carlisle is where my parents live. That's where I grew up. I opened my businesses, and for the last like 5, 6 years, I lived in Burlington, which is about 25 minutes away. And it just so happened back in like last summer, I was driving my parents, and I used to come to a park that's across the street from my house here when I was a little kid. Used to come here tobogganing and stuff. So I sort of hadn't been here in like 15 years. So it's an alternate route to my parents' house. So I just took this way to my parents' house one day, saw the property, looked it up online, fell in love with it, bought it, saw the potential to have my own gym here, run my business out of it. It's got a third building on the property. We have 2 tenants, so it's a really good setup here for me. Advice I always give people when they ask me, especially young guys, they always ask me, what would you have done differently, or what advice could you give me? I want to be a pro bodybuilder. And my first thing that comes to my mind usually is like, be patient, don't be in a rush, take your time, shows are always there, they're not going anywhere. Earlier on in this year, I had I guess I've had like 5, 6, 7 guys who competed. They all did really well. One of my clients actually won his class at the Ontarios. Thought he had a really good shot at the overall. His condition was the best in the show. So, that was really, really cool to see. I did that show too. And, here's one of my clients that I trained, and he's the most conditioned guy in the show. And I was sort of I didn't train myself. I had a coach, and that was sort of the biggest disappointment of the show because everyone expected me to be crazy conditioned, and I wasn't. So that kind of gave me reassurance too, to know like, hey, Dorian, you know what you're talking about, man. Just do it yourself. So for the last 10 years, I've been really, really serious, really dedicated to bodybuilding. I'm the type of person when I want to be at the best at something, I put everything into it. It's like, if the other guy's partying on the weekend, if the other guy's going on vacation, I'm at home training, eating, sleeping, doing whatever I got to do to be better than him. That's just how I've always looked at things, business, anything. It's like I'll outwork them. It's great and it worked through my 20s, but I've done it for 10 years now, and I'm kind of at the point where I started asking myself, like, am I really happy doing this still? Like, do I still love this process? Do I still love, like, eat, sleep, train, and that's it? Because sometimes I look back, I look like, oh my gosh, 10 years went by. I didn't go on vacation. There's not many memories with my wife or my family, or, I miss birthdays, I miss so much. And I'm not regretting that, I'm not regretting any of it, but at this stage of my life, I think I need to find more balance going forward. And because I do value, like my marriage is the most important thing to me. Without my wife, she means the most to me in the world. So, at this point in my life, I need to find balance. And no, like, when I look back at last year, for example, when I tore my tricep tendon, we had a party here. People are drinking. People are whatever, having a good time. I didn't. I wasn't training at the time. I couldn't. Tricep tendon was torn. I couldn't do much, but I was still so focused on my goal that I was like, no, I'm not going to drink. I was still eating all my meals, doing everything I could do to be the best I could be without training. So when I look back, I'm like, would it really have mattered if I would have let loose and like maybe had a good time? And did I really have to be that serious at that point in time? So, which really I don't think I had to. I don't think it would have made a difference if I would have just relaxed and just took time off the diet and spent time with my family or had a good time with my friends. So I think you got to pick and choose, when to, put the pedal to the metal, when to pull back. Because also mentally, I think going on vacation and doing things, sometimes you got to take, a couple steps backwards, to pull 4 or 5 steps forward.